Well, hey everybody, welcome back. This is Let's Talk 360. I'm Max. I'm joined by Caitlin.
Hello.
And today we're gonna talk about failure and why failure is important. So yeah,
Yeah, we this episode is kind of just us validating you because we need to validate ourselves because we mess up all the time. And I feel like that's something that happens as a 20 something. I don't know about you guys, but
I think failure's
um
pretty commonplace.
yeah, like well we say failure, but things it's not necessarily failure, but just feeling that it's not exactly how you want it to go in
Failure's a
life.
pretty broad term in this sense.
Yeah, yeah. Very broad. But I mean, like, I guess what we want to focus on is the fitness and like mental health aspects, and then also relationships and in work, you're going to make mistakes. And like, just figuring things out and making mistakes is such a huge part of your 20s. So, yeah, we wanted to touch on that today.
Yeah, and just like not everything's gonna go right because I think this is just such like a learning phase of like life and whatever. But yeah, can you hear my dog?
No,
Okay. Um,
no, I'm just laughing because I'm thinking about all the stories we're going to tell.
We're gonna be a good time. We're gonna have a fun. We're gonna have a fun time.
Yeah.
But I think we wanted to specify is that when we say failure, I think just generally, I think what Caitlin and I were trying to convey is we mean that in the sense that things are not going to go exactly how you want them to all the time. And so I think just the steps that we were kind of thinking about is that failure can allow you to learn, prepare, and find solutions.
Yeah, I think failure just teaches you things about yourself and so unnecessary. But like when we talk about failure, it's not about this pain or suffering. I read again Brianna West in her book,
Fantastic.
The Bible. She said it's story 77 if anyone wants to read it. But it's called Why Do We Value Suffering So Much? And she says suffering is a necessary evil and that's something we put so much emphasis on. And it's a common belief that suffering is a necessary evil, but that's not exactly what we're saying. I think like suffering is equal to like this subjective temporary projection of what we currently believe onto what is happening. And we sometimes confuse suffering with like uncomfortableness or
Yeah.
uncomfortability.
Yeah, it's kind of like the way of the world. And it's like you're just going to
Yeah.
enter things that aren't comfortable all the time or like that you're gonna have to like adapt to or that you're not used to.
Yeah. Like I think if you aren't making yourself uncomfortable, then you're not doing it right. Like that is my firm belief. But there is a difference between pain and uncomfortable,
Yeah.
like or being uncomfortable because there are limits and boundaries and those are very different. Like limits are well, limits are externally facing and most of the time primarily physical or psychological, but boundaries are internally facing. So like pain and suffering is this byproduct of understanding your limits, but uncomfortability is knowing your boundaries and
Yeah.
pushing against those and trying to continue to make yourself grow and like learn more about yourself.
Well, at least the way I like to think about it is like adaptation. And Kayla and I were talking about this when we were preparing the episode. Is like we're always like, it's gonna be fine, we're gonna figure it out, be okay. So there's so much
Yeah.
stuff like in trying to make a podcast that I think we were like totally unprepared for. I don't know if like I'm reading something wrong, but like turns out getting on Apple Podcasts is a lot more complicated than I thought. Um, like other things.
So
We're like, I don't know what we're gonna post on Instagram. We're like, I don't know, like whatever. And we're like, so like we're good. We're gonna figure it out. And then
yeah.
like the gym for me is like when I think about being uncomfortable or whatever, it's like it's just like a chance to like adapt. Like there's always something to like figure out or something. So I guess like adaptation is the word that I think of when we're
Yeah.
talking like uncomfortability.
Yeah, that's a good word because you do in any situation that I've ever been in that was hard or difficult or uncomfortable at the time, I've gotten through it. I've lived past it and I've grown.
So
So, yeah, and it's like you will adapt. You will be better because of these hard situations. But it's when you're in the situation, that's when it's hard to understand that. But having like a broader perspective and reframing the way you think about failure and being uncomfortable and making mistakes, like that is so important so that you can continue to like better yourself and become the best version of yourself.
I was actually thinking about this yesterday and today. I don't know. I think sometimes like when we've talked, I've said that I regretted not saying some things to some people, or like I regretted whatever. I'd use the word regret a lot. And then you always tell me like don't regret shit, like you don't regret anything.
Yeah.
Like whatever happened happened. There's nothing you can do about it anymore. It's just like in our conversation, like in our language, you've kind of like made me think about the word regret and those situations where I've said that I've regretted something, whether it's from like a relationship or just like something that I've done or something that just like didn't go right. I'm like, well, you know what? Like I'm still here now and like I got a roof over my head, like I'm good, like really everything's fine. Like and all the things that I've gone through are the things that I regret or the things that didn't go right. I guess I wouldn't take back who I am like right now because I feel like I'm pretty cool and like comfortable with myself. And so even though like when I think about those situations, it does make me uncomfortable to think back. I wouldn't change who I am right now. And so
Right.
I'm that kind of makes me more comfortable with like the things that I previously like would have like regretted or something. So it's
Yeah,
just
that
a good mindset kind of change.
yeah, like suffering and being uncomfortable are not equal. And I guess what me and Max are trying to tell you, or the audience, tell you, the audience, I don't know, is that like the mindset and reframing that good or perceived good, no, reframing the perceived bad to quote good will alter your belief system and perception on honestly life. Like reframing the way you think about regret does change how you then perceive the rest of your life because you could have been like, yo, I regret what I did in this moment. And yeah, like looking back on it, you can probably feel uncomfortable, whatever, but that situation needed to happen for you to be the person you are today. And if this person that you are today didn't happen, then like, how are you supposed to be the person that you're supposed to be tomorrow and the next day? Like, things happen for a purpose. Like, I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know if I
but
believe it in like in a destiny kind of sense, but it's like, or I think I
I
kind of
do.
like a what? No, like maybe I might be fucking wrong. Who knows? I guess like I think the way I wrap my mind around it is like in a progressive kind of sense where it's like you wouldn't be here now the way you are in the state of this world if all those things before hadn't happened. And you can't change that anymore. You're like everything is the way it is right now. And like that sets you on that path. And then like you've had to deal or like you've just had to adapt and like you just had to make the best out of it.
Mhm.
I don't know. I really don't know what I feel about like destiny or like fate or like things happen for a reason. I really like I legit started reading the Bible like this week just
Yeah.
because I have one and I'm not necessarily like religious, but my friend wanted me to read it because he's religious and there's like parts of it that he finds like really like comforting and it's gonna me feel like think about like the whole God thing. I was like, I don't know if things happen for a reason, but like the progressive kind of thing and like the lessons you learn from that and like I don't know. I'm undecided. We'll figure it out at some point.
I think it's destiny. I think
I
there's
want to
something
believe
about
it
it.
so bad, but I don't know if I can like convince myself. I honestly think that's where I'm going to end up.
But don't force yourself.
No, I'm not going to force myself. I'm just
Get there on your own.
like it's very appealing to me
Yeah.
because also I feel like I'm supposed to be able to accomplish like certain things in life, and I'm kind of like I don't want to be a bum. So like I'm just like we're gonna get there eventually.
I I told my parents this the other week, but they were talking about like finances and money, and I was like, I have no doubt in my mind that I'm gonna be okay. And they were like, they kind of laughed at me a little bit because like I said it so confidently,
Hmm.
and it was just this in the moment in our conversation. It was a little out there, I guess. I don't know,
Yeah.
not out there, but I do believe that there is a certain path that we take, and like failure is so important in order for us to continue on that path. And I want to believe that there is like an end goal in this, like, not end goal, but
There's like a destination or something.
yeah.
I don't know.
And I want to believe that that things are aligning in the way that they are because of this last beautiful like ending. I don't
I can
know.
subscribe to that. I can get behind that. Like I think you and I have talked about this before, like how the future can be so daunting or whatever, but it's like you're just taking these little steps at a time. And like if you
Mhm.
put, like good energy out there, then like good things are gonna come back. And if you just keep taking those little steps, then like the things are gonna keep aligning and like that thing's gonna end up happening. Because I think I believe the same thing too. Like I truly do believe that at the end of the day, like like I'm gonna be good, like I'm gonna be okay. But I also know like it's like, yeah, like it's not gonna be easy, like for sure. And like things are gonna be uncomfortable. And in terms of personal training, like right now, I don't have a whole lot of clients, but I know at some point it's like, and it really sucks right now. It's really uncomfortable because it's also new. But eventually, if I just keep showing up to work, like it's gonna happen. And I'm gonna be better at it,
Yeah.
and work, like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
So
I posted this thing on Instagram recently, a story on Instagram. Um and it was like your first podcast is gonna suck. Your
yes,
first song is gonna suck. It listed a bunch of things that like your firsts are gonna suck, but you need to have a first to have a second and to continue and to succeed. Like you need to start somewhere
yeah,
and you're gonna fail and that's like a part of it. Like that's a part of life. But just trying
yeah.
is so important.
Trying's huge. Just like putting yourself out there, just like trying something to even be like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like now you know, or
Yeah.
like or then like you learn for the next time. That brings up what we were talking about earlier, Jocko. This thing I learned that on Joe Rogan. I was listening to Joe Rogan and they were talking about this guy Jocko Willink, and he had like an employee that like would come to him with problems or whatever. And I'm like, I'm paraphrasing, but basically the guy was like, yeah, this thing's happening or things are going bad or whatever. And Jocko, this guy on his podcast, he said in the story that he would just say good every time this guy had some shit going on. And he said like something good is always going to come from something bad, but that's all just like that's a mindset thing.
Yeah.
Like I think that's something that's like very achievable. Like you can totally just do that. Like you can just start changing how you think and how you act. And like the examples he listed were like, if you don't get promoted, good, you have more time to prepare. If like a mission or a project gets canceled, good, you have more time to prepare for the next one. If
Yeah.
and he's a fighter, so he's like, if you get tapped out, good, you learned. So
Right.
basically saying like if there are unexpected problems, that's good. Now you have the opportunity to figure out a solution. Um, and then paraphrasing again, I just watched a video on it. Like when things are going bad, he said, like, don't get bummed out or startled or frustrated. If you can say the word good, it means you're alive, you're still bleeding, you're still breathing, and you still got some fight left. So get up, reload, recalibrate, and re-engage. Like you're still here, like we're going through all these things or whatever. And if you can just say good and move on, just like work on figuring out a solution, then like you can avoid those bad things happening again. Or like things are always gonna happen. So you just have to like accept the fact that you're just gonna have to recalibrate or like like just to kind of figure it out.
Yeah. We can't always control everything at
Yeah.
all. And I know, like, for me, when I can't control something, it messes up my routines or, like, it gives me a lot of anxiety. I'm not going to lie.
Lack of
Um,
control is really unsettling.
yeah. But it's going to happen. And just reframing the way you think about it and having a different perspective on that out of control, bad feeling. I think like when you are able to reframe the perspective on failure and things not going your way or being out of your control, um, it's an opportunity for growth.
Yeah, I totally agree. Um, I mean, it's really easy to. I mean, I got nothing against taking like a mental health day or like a second, like, you know what, fuck, I need to watch some TV tonight, but like tomorrow we got to get up and figure this shit out.
Mm-hmm.
And like I know in the gym too, like failure is always an opportunity for growth. In the gym, like failure is totally like an opportunity for growth, and in so many different ways, whether that's like programming or if you're like building towards like a show or a competition or just like any kind of like goal in general. If you're like, I'm gonna squat this much by like this date, um, if you fail like preparing for that, like you try to squat some kind of weight or something and you don't hit it and it goes wrong, then that allows you to grow in other places. And you're like, okay, like what, like why did it go wrong? It's like my glutes aren't strong enough, or like it's my hamstrings, or it's my quads, or it's like my setup or my form. So then you just work on those things and you apply those things. And if you're strong in other areas, then it'll all come together eventually at the end of the day and it all works out.
Right.
Um,
I feel like that's a huge question in fitness. Like, should you train to failure in the gym? And honestly, my opinion is you should.
yeah.
And I think there's a lot of pros to it. Like, you increase muscle mass and strength. And often when you hit a plateau in the gym, it's probably because you're not lifting heavy enough or you're not pushing yourself enough. And
You're
number
there's
of reps are like, I don't know.
ways to do that. Like you were saying, sorry, I totally interrupted you. But yeah,
No.
sets, weight.
Yeah. Time. Like anything, you can really do anything, but you just need to keep pushing yourself. And like, I don't know. I think I've gone through a lot of periods where I've been in a plateau and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. What, why am I like not getting better? But it's because I'm consciously skipping reps or like knowing I can pick up heavier weights than what I am. Like
Yeah.
recently I've been picking up weights that I know I probably can lift heavier than, but I'm mentally like, I don't want to lift heavier. But that's
Yeah.
not going to get me better.
Yeah. If you're picking up the same weight every single day and doing the same thing with it, or like every single time you're going to the gym, and you're doing like the same weight and same amount of reps every single time, then like you're just not gonna you're kind of like missing the opportunity for getting stronger,
Yeah.
and you're like not going to, because the point is um like the point of lifting weights most of the times is hypertrophy, putting on muscle mass. So it's like whether that's you're able to lift more amount of weight over time, like more amount of mass or more amount of volume over time. So that's like if you're adding volume through like reps or through sets or through yeah, that, or if you're like increasing the weight. So it's like if you just like curl 25-pound dumbbells 10 times every single time you go into the gym, at some point, then like what are you doing? Because it's
Right.
like you're totally capable of doing that. So just like bump it up to the 30s.
Right. Because your
And you
body,
can do it for 8, but you did it 30. You did 30 pounds instead of 25.
right. Like your body, like you were saying earlier, your body adapts.
Yeah.
So it,
Your body's literally built to adapt. That's the whole point.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like whether it's in the gym or in life or anything, it's all the same. Like your body will adapt. So you might as well put your body through like pushing yourself so that you move towards a betterment or like towards growth, or else you're just going to stay the same and it's not you're not I don't know. How do I say that? You're not like
I mean, you're not progressing really. It's like stagnant
yeah.
almost. I think just
Yeah.
like it's like some nerdy like gym stuff is like I think I've seen a lot of people get frustrated when they fail like some kind of exercise. And there's a lot of factors where it's like if you're tired that day or if you didn't eat enough or whatever. But like let's say everything's like all kind of lined up, like you got enough sleep, you've eaten enough, all that good stuff. And you end up like not being able to, like if you're bench pressing, are able to not push it up anymore. Um, just like scientifically speaking, or like anatomical, I don't know. Basically, if you reach a point of failure, like you have achieved a significant enough stimulus on those muscle fibers to like initiate like that adaptation and like that growth. And so it's like learning, and what sucks is like it doesn't feel good. Like
Right.
it literally is uncomfortable and it's hard and not a lot of people like it. And like failing a squat or like going to failure on like leg presses or something like that is totally not fun. And but if you're able to in the gym learn how to exercise to a point of failure, and not all the time, but if you're able to learn how to do that, you're gonna grow so exponentially. And there's so much like data behind that and so much proof behind that. So if you can learn how to do that, you're gonna be so much better.
Yeah. It's like Atomic Habits. I know it's about habits and not failure, but um in that book the author talks about if you just do one habit more, or like you create a habit and you're bettering yourself like 1% every day. I don't know the statistics actually, but I'm making them up right now. But um, basically, the author says that if you do one thing and you continue to do it consistently, you build that habit, you will be exponentially better the next year
Yeah.
because you've built in that one habit. And it's the same idea with like putting yourself through failure and honestly creating a habit of putting yourself in risky situations. And that's risk is like within within reason.
Yeah. I mean, well, and like the habit, like it adds up. Like it adds up over time. And it's the same thing with like exercising. Like if you're working out, you're not gonna, and I see this a lot in the gym with people that were training. They're like, I'm just trying to like lose like this weight on my stomach, and like it's been like a few weeks, and like I've been working with it. It's like, okay, it's gonna take time, but it's like, please don't quit on me. Like, don't quit on yourself. Like, keep coming in, keep doing the work by yourself outside of the gym, keep eating right, and over time, like all the effort that you're putting into, like all the effort you're putting into your body and yourself, like over time, it's gonna add up. It's like
Yeah.
save. It's like if you
Yeah.
just put money away, eventually, like you're gonna have like a good chunk of it. So if you keep investing like in your body, if you keep going to failure when you're training, if you keep eating right, like eventually it's gonna pay off.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the gym. Like if you keep putting yourself looking through it when you're going to the gym and like you work out hard, it will pay off. And
Yeah.
that's just the tough thing about working out is like shit does not happen overnight.
No, it doesn't. And it's so frustrating. Like as someone I'm very impatient. So when I first started working out, I was like, why aren't I seeing results right now?
I don't have abs yet, bro. What's going on?
And it's been what 3 years and I still am working towards my abs.
But it's
But
guarantee you, if you put a side by side of you 3 years ago and you right
such a
now,
big difference.
you're a lot more muscular.
Yeah.
Like you look better. And
Right.
I ate a 2 pound burrito today, and afterwards I took a nap, and I woke up and I weighed myself. And I normally don't weigh myself in the middle of the day. I do like the beginning of the day, like right when I wake up. But I was like 201. And last year, when I was over 200 pounds, I was so fat. I had such a beer belly. And I like, you can right now, you can see like the outline of my abs. And I still have like some vascularity, like on my chest, my shoulders, and my arms, and my legs have like a lot more shape to them. But at this weight last year, I'll go look back at them at some point. I'm like, oh my God, I look so different.
Yeah.
The number, at least like for me, the number on the scale doesn't really bother me as much anymore. But I was like, man, like that's 200 pounds. Like we're there now. And I was like, I look a lot better. Like you can see like progress. It's just like we're a year removed from that. So
Right.
yeah. So I mean, I think up to this point, we've been pretty broad with kind of how we've been speaking about failure. And
Hmm.
I think in this podcast a lot, Kayla and I don't want to come off as like preachy or whatever. We're just like saying stuff. Because like we're going through all this stuff too. But I know we've kind of been talking about it a little bit, Caitlin. But like just to be more specific, like you just moved,
Yeah.
and you're at a new job and you're taking new classes and you're in a new city. So like how is like that kind of transition to that been?
It was definitely a risk moving because I did not know anyone prior to moving here. Um, and, like anything, trying a new, I'm in a new job, and that can be very overwhelming. It has been very overwhelming. Um, and kind of that transition from like being home all the time. And we talked about this a few episodes ago, 2 episodes ago. Um, but like being home all the time with my family and then not, I don't know. It's definitely been a transition. I have been trying to put myself out there. I I DM'd someone on Instagram.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I was like, "Hey, I'm new here. I think you're cute. Would you want to grab a coffee with me?" And it kind of worked. Like we've been texting, super
I
friendly.
thought you're about to be like, and nothing happened. I'm like, that's wild.
No. No,
Yes, let's go.
he answered and he was like, "I have some great coffee places for sure, for sure." And I think like that, putting myself out there and risking like it felt so embarrassing and silly to reach out to
Oh,
someone like that, but like putting myself out there also gave me the confidence now to like continue to do it. And even if another person or like I get rejected, I don't care because now I like who cares? Because now I know that I'm able to do it. People out there, people who want to be in my life will be.
yeah,
And that's that's all I need to know.
yeah.
I don't know.
I did I did something similar recently, and I like had gone out with my friends, and I was like, fuck it, like I'm just gonna like DM this girl that like I've known for a while too, and I did, and she was like, "What's up?" And um, so we are just kind of like talking back and forth, like nothing crazy, and then like I asked for a number, very like clear as to why like I asked for a number, and I can't remember if this is actually in the recording or not, or if this is while we were like, I think this is while we were preparing for an episode.
No, yeah, I was
Yeah.
preparing.
And I was like, I'm gonna wait till after to text her. And Kim was like, fucking send it. Like just do it. And I was like, yeah,
Do it.
just do it. And so I did. I was like, we should go out sometime. And she texted me back the next day. I think it was the next day. Or do you remember if it was during or if it was the next day?
It
It was
was
the
the
next day.
next
I
day.
texted you in the
Yeah,
morning
yeah,
I was at work.
yeah.
And she was like, hey, like I I probably can't. Like, I have a boyfriend. And I was
Hey, but
like,
here.
dog. And also like so fucking embarrassed because I was like, bro, would have never done that if you fucking had
Okay,
stopped. Like you had so many opportunities to stop me before, and I was like, this sucks. But it's not great.
okay, but you say you're embarrassed, but really you shouldn't. You shouldn't. And I was going to bring this up because
I was just uncomfortable. It's like you're right.
and that's a good thing. That's what we're preaching right now. That's what we're honestly preaching right now though. Like I wrote this where's my paper? I wrote this paper today saying, nope, I don't know. Not going to find it. Have no idea. Oh, there we go.
Yep. Hey.
That So it was about how I would act in a situation if a ethical problem developed in a clinical setting when I'm a supposed practitioner. And so I was trying to explain how maybe if like a client displays their emotions onto me because of their own life, I tend to um, think it's a little bit about me. And I was talking about how I need to be able to separate the client's feelings about their own life and how they treat me. And to relate this back, I think how a person treats you does not reflect you, but reflects them. And for you to feel embarrassed about that situation, no, you shouldn't, because that took guts and you should be proud of yourself. And I think, like, honestly, me too. Like, I'm proud of myself for putting myself in an
Right.
uncomfortable situation. Thank you.
Let's go.
But it was uncomfortable and it was risky, and people don't do that anymore. I feel like people don't put themselves out there anymore for people to reject them, because people are a lot, and me included. Like, I'm scared of rejection, and it's a hard thing. Being
Yeah.
rejected is scary, but like, how are you supposed to know anything, or like, I don't know. How
It's
are you
like
supposed to learn?
I heard Post Malone talking about like taking away the like button, the dislike button on YouTube. And he was like, they took away the fucking dislike button. And like, yeah, it sucks when people are like, I don't like it. But then it's like you get hella views and you only get likes or something like that. Then it's like, how do you know how many people don't like whatever the fuck you put out there? Like if you're making YouTube videos or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like there's like at some kind of point where it's like there's like an element of rejection or like failure that is like kind of necessary in order to like know like what you're doing. And like
Yeah.
what stuck for me, like as a personal trainer, if a client was like, I don't like him, I don't want to train with him. And that might not necessarily be my fault. It's like we're just like not each other's kind of like style or whatever. But or maybe I did fuck up and I'm like, okay, like I'm not gonna do that again. So
Yeah. I think it's very important to realize that, yeah, the way someone treats you doesn't necessarily mean it's about you.
yeah.
It's 100% about them. And that should give everyone enough confidence to be who you are, say what you feel, love who you love. Doesn't matter. Like, just do it. Risk it. Be uncomfortable. Fail. We're gonna fail.
Just like me, man. Okay. All good. I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm still here.
Well, here's my story about failing. Um,
Like so
and so, Jonah, you know who you are. It's a fake name. I just gotta say it. The girls at the eating disorder clinic made up a name for him, so he knows who he is. But um, I okay, so this guy I was like seeing for a little bit. I was over at his place. He had friends over. Um, I went to the bathroom. No, this is a girl's worst nightmare. No trash can, right? I'm on my period. So, girls gotta do what a girl's gotta do. I had a fucking tampon in, and he had people outside near the trash cans. I didn't know what to do, and I threw it down the toilet. And
what happened?
and the fucking toilet clogged.
Absolutely wild that that happened because I've seen people flush tampons down my toilet before and it's not like that. It's so unlucky.
I know, and it literally flooded. Like, he comes in, it was probably around like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. And he goes to the bathroom, and I didn't know what happened. And he like rushes back in the room, and he's like, oh my fucking god, the toilet is just like flooding. The bathroom's flooded. It's everywhere. I don't know what to do. And I was like, oh my god, I don't know what happened.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
I denied it. He still doesn't know. So if he listens to this,
No way. I thought you told me. That's so funny.
no.
Okay, it's all right. Telling the truth
No.
now.
Yeah, I'm coming clean now.
Oh my god.
But there we go, failure. It happens.
Happens all the time.
We make mistakes and we learn from them. I'm not gonna throw a tampon down the toilet anymore. even
Bad
in
practice.
serious, even in dire situations, don't throw them down the toilet.
Don't throw them down into it. Just to be safe. You know, you
So you
never
don't flood someone's apartment.
yeah, you never know what could happen. And that, floods are typical. So
You know what? Okay, here is that is a story that I am completely embarrassed about, and that is why I did not tell him it happened. I should have. I should have owned up to it, but I didn't. And it's hard for me to like be like, "Oh, there's a purpose for that." Like that's supposed to happen.
Happened, like destiny, fate.
But like in all honesty, I shouldn't be embarrassed. Like it happens, things happen. Like that is it's so silly, but it's okay.
Like no one got hurt. It's all good. It's okay.
No.
It's like actually okay. So I mean, like his toilet's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, he fixed it.
And you're not gonna throw tampons all the time.
Hey, I had to learn that lesson.
The hard way, unfortunately. Sometimes it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It's so funny. I'm glad that you shared that. Thank you for being vulnerable with us.
You are welcome. Thank you for laughing with me and not at me. I would be laughing at me.
It's okay. But we're not. It's just with you.
Right,
Yeah.
right. um, I feel like takeaway message from this episode. We've touched on like how I feel like everything happens for a purpose, Max. You don't necessarily know. But what I do know is what you do and how you respond to difficult circumstances. Very priceless and invaluable lessons. Hard shit sucks. Like that, it is what it is. But how you get through those things and what you learn during that process of growth is so important. Whether it's something like almost failing a class or getting broken up with or losing a friendship, um, falling short in competition or like financial stuff or whatever, like however you respond to those situations are going to teach you important lessons on the other side of it if you let it.
Yeah.
So,
I absolutely agree. I think that how you react to everything is like I don't even know. It's like really like at the end, it's how you react to stuff because things are always going to happen and things aren't going to go your way and just kind of how you respond.
yeah.
Um, and I think in that manner, that's where I'm like things happen for a reason. But I think maybe just right now where I'm at is like you kind of like make that reason. It's like how you respond. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. But what I do know is that like things will happen and you just have a choice to make on how that like you're gonna and how you're gonna take care of that and how you're gonna respond and how you're gonna react and how you're gonna grow from that.
Yeah. So
But
at
yeah,
the end of the day, failure is important because, you know, way you react and how you reframe things.
boom, clip that. Um,
Your perspective matters.
exactly. And then just like fuck it, like who cares? Who cares?
Exactly. Just do it. um, okay, so to go to our weekly what we learned update, would you like to start us off?
I'll go. I'll go.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I guess it's just kind of what I talked about a little bit at the beginning that um I'm just like I'm learning kind of how to reframe kind of my process where it's like I've totally said to people it's like I don't regret anything and I totally have like feelings of regret but like I'm attempting, I'm trying, and I am just kind of reframing how I perceive those situations that like I'm the person who I am today and I like this person that I am and everything that I'm working towards and all that uncomfortable shit and then all the things that I previously thought that I've regretted. Like it's not a regret. It's just things that made me uncomfortable or things that I didn't like the outcome of. But we're still here and I'm still the person who I am, still like and I'm cool with that person. Like I like this person. And so yeah, I guess I'm just kind of like learning to change my mindset like from regret.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
What did you
Um, I have two things, three things, two things. First is I'm not meant for a 9 to 5. I am self diagnosed ADHD and I cannot sit still. I have to do things. I cannot just sit at a desk and look at a computer. It's not for me. If someone has a job for me, please let me know. You can DM this this channel.
Our
Um
emails in our bio. Send.
yeah. Yeah, help, please. SOS. Thank you. My second thing, that was one and two together, I guess. My second is a little more normal, but I think like I don't know why this week. I think it maybe it's because I'm so alone and I have a lot of time to think because
Mhm.
I'm meeting new people. I'm putting myself out there, but um, I have a lot of time to reflect, and I think like I've been thinking back on past friendships and relationships and realizing that I have made mistakes that have cost me relationships. Um, and knowing that and being aware of it, and also being aware that I can still love them at the same time. Um, I don't know. I'm learning to accept that these people were put in my life during a period of time for a purpose and or to teach me a lesson, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I think some people are supposed to be there for you in times and not there in others, and I still feel so much love for them, and I know that I always will, but maybe it's just where we are right now currently, we're not meant to be in each other's lives.
Yeah.
And like some of the relationships I'm thinking of in my gut, I feel like our story isn't over,
Mhm.
and I think there's more to explore, but at this moment in time, I think I've accepted that I'm okay with loving from a distance
Yeah.
and knowing that people were there for me in times when I needed it, and it's okay if those people aren't there anymore. It is just it's life.
I think that
So
is a very beautiful, very healthy, really awesome mindset. That's not easy to have.
it was a really roundabout way of saying it, but thank you.
No, I
Of
like it.
me, of me, of me.
Okay, all right, cool. I need that. But yes, no, like, I know what you're saying. Like that's like it's a hard thing to do and to like actually like act on. And it's definitely uncomfortable coming to like that realization or like that kind of like point of acceptance.
Yeah,
It really sucks when you really love somebody like that and like you just don't it's not the same anymore.
yeah,
Um and it's I think personally that's really healthy that you kind of came to the point where like I don't think it's over, but right now is not where we're at. And like I'm totally cool from being on the outside at the moment. And I just
yeah.
that's good. That's really healthy. It's really awesome. I know like I've been kind of dealing with that like mad heavy for like just thinking about like a past relationship where I was like it just kind of keeps coming back where I'm like really like fucked up about it. And like same thing. It's like I think it happened at a time when it needed to happen.
Mm,
And like speaking about like the regret kind of things, like there's so many things I just wish I did differently or wish I like things I just wish I had said. But I didn't do those things. I hadn't said those things. But that relationship went the way that it did. And it was like a really beautiful thing. And it's just not the way that it is right now. And probably like not gonna be like that ever again. And I don't think there's really anything that's gonna happen after this. But I'm like really sad about it, honestly. But like
yeah,
it's like it's okay. And just trying to continually be like, I'm just grateful that I got what I got, or
yeah,
that we got the time together that we got together. and that it didn't end like bad. Like we don't hate each other. Like I'm always gonna love her, and like if she ever needed anything like from me, like I would give that to her, and like I would like to think that if I ever need anything from her, that she would give that to me. And so like yeah, it's tough. It's not fun. It did like
No,
it's great.
but to be able to have something like that
Yeah,
is so beautiful. And
it's really valuable.
yeah,
Yeah, beautiful. Like
and specific experiences can't be redone
yeah,
the exact same way, but the fact that you can have beautiful experiences with someone else like that, there's going to be more, like in different capacities, in different ways, but probably maybe with different people. But it's a cool thought to have.
yeah.
That,
So I was
like,
angry at first and like resentful and like upset and like just like
yeah,
pissed. But I just kind of like bring myself back to like those moments where I was like such a cool time like of my life, and the fact like and I'm just and I remember telling her this too. It's like I'm just really glad that like I got to do that with you, no
yeah,
matter. And this was kind of towards the end, like before we graduated. I was like, I'm just so happy that no matter what happens after this, I'm so happy that we got to do this together.
yeah,
This last little bit together. I'm just so glad that we got to do it together. And whatever happens after this, like whatever. But like we did it like the best that we could do it, and I put what I put into it, and like yeah, just accepting like all the good that came from that, and like I just don't know if there's a point of being like angry about it, even though I want to be, and it doesn't feel good.
yeah,
Appreciating that, like it was a beautiful thing.
yeah. It's all about the reframing and how you react to it.
Message of the day.
There we go. Um, can you cut this in? But this message to my dad. He always makes fun of me for saying I'm self-diagnosed ADHD. But dad, I am. So I know you're laughing.
Become.
I
Please take
know
this
you're.
seriously.
Please take this seriously. Dad, I know. I know what you're thinking. But listen.
You're a professional podcast, and we wouldn't say anything crazy like that.
Right.
What actually? I think you're.
I think so.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
Oh, I also saw an Instagram post. The post I saw said growth is uncomfortable, but so is staying somewhere you've outgrown.
pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that a lot. That
That one hit. Yeah. Mic drop. There we go.
yeah, I don't know if it makes me sad or if it makes me like happy, comforted, but I feel that one for sure. That was hard.
Yeah. But it's so true. Like, what are you doing if you're not putting yourself out there, risking it, being uncomfortable? Like, there's so many places that I know I've outgrown
Yeah,
and can't can't be better if I've outgrown that place. Stay in it. That's why I'm here. That's why I moved.
exactly. And it's just gonna get better. And it's like, of course, it's hard right now. Like you never fucking lived here before, and it's all new.
Right.
But it's gonna be okay because you're just gonna keep fucking trying. And it's gonna
It's all gonna be okay.
be okay. And you can quote me on that.
That is our motto.
It'll be okay.
I'm gonna make a hat. It's all gonna be okay, Max.
Yeah, just wait till we get to a point where we can sell merch. We're gonna have some.
Yeah, we are.
It'll be so good.
So, hey guys, send this podcast to your friends, your grandma. My grandma listens. um, your neighbor's kids.
Your homies.
Your homies. Those people are important.
Yeah.
Just send it. Send it and follow our Instagram. Go like our posts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Garrett, dude, do that. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Press the button. Like it doesn't hit the like.
um,
We pop.
right. Like,
Yeah, help us out so that we can make bucket hats one day.
yeah, true. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening.
You got
Um,
it.
yeah, we love you.